What's going on, Queen? What's going on?
How you doing? Happy New Year, everybody.
Peace and blessings, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. What's one of your New Year resolutions you got for us?
Man, I am finishing up a clinical rotation for radiation therapy, so definitely getting to graduation 2025. So that's my biggest goal.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, give the people a little introduction, and tell them about a little bit about what you do and some of the services that you offer.
Okay, so my name is Shanavia. I'm a licensed massage therapist. I have been a therapist for about 8.5 years now. I love massage therapy. I decided to go back to school for radiation therapy to kind of merge cancer management with massage therapy. So I do offer Swedish, deep tissue sports massage, and lymphatic, and I also offer assisted stretching services as well. I'm in Fayetteville, Georgia, and that is like right off of State Route 54 for all of those that are familiar with the area.
You don't
Yeah.
let us know the Rick Ross, do you?
No, I don't be seeing Rick. I want to see him though. If you on the live, I would like to see you. I've seen the massages he get, and I could do better.
I know that's right. Most definitely, most definitely.
Um, I also sell vitamins and supplements as well on my website, allintentions.com.
Let's get it. Definitely plug that in. Make sure you post that in the comments before you leave. But what got you into becoming an entrepreneur?
Really just having kids. I think that it pushes you. I have two sons, so having raising black men, you just want to have a foundation for them and kind of set them up. I feel like we don't really get taught to set our kids up the way we need to in our community. So showing my kids entrepreneurship is important to me. Both me and my partner are both entrepreneurs. He does barber and aesthetics as well. So we showed that to the kids. We're here in Atlanta. It's like the mecca for business owners. So that was a major push as well.
Okay, okay, okay. So, can you share a surprising insight you discovered during your journey and doing your market research when you first started your company?
Something that was surprising was that I didn't know what I was doing. I think sometimes you don't take into account that what you see on Instagram is something that someone has really taken their time to put together. I didn't know that content creating was such a real thing. And shout out to all the content creators because it is very challenging to time post, check analytics, see you making sales, hey, should I run a sale this week? Should I, do a percentage off? Is daunting sometimes. And it takes a lot of time. So starting a business while being in school is interesting. And so I'm definitely reaching out to you guys. I love the idea of the platform, getting it out there to kind of guide people. Because it's a lot of businesses right now, thriving. It's a lot of people thriving off of these businesses right now. So I'm just definitely trying to get my foot into.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely time consuming when it comes to content creation and digital marketing. In general, it's a tedious thing. I think a lot of people really don't realize it until you really dive deep into building a business or building a brand. And I think it's something that's very underrated. I think that's really one of the reasons why we started. Providing that service for other entrepreneurs, helping them manage their social medias, come up with content, content plans and content creation calendars, the whole nine, because it's definitely needed. It's definitely something that we had to perfect, and I think that's the thing about it, as well. It's steady advancing, it's steady changing. There's always updates. There's always new platforms coming out,
Right.
or going viral. Now I remember for a year, probably more than that now. The time is flying, but a little bit before the pandemic, I was pushing. I was, every business that we was consulting, I was pushing them onto TikTok, and even before it was named TikTok, I was pushing different entrepreneurs. I seen, the space growing, and
Right.
it's kind of hard for a lot of people to adapt. Especially when you, spent a lot of time building up another platform like Instagram or Facebook.
Right.
Then here comes a whole new platform, and a lot of people don't like to start from zero. And I think it's very important. Speaking of that, we just got on Blue Sky. Check us out on Blue Sky. Check us out on Lemon 8. Those are some of the newer platforms that we've been seeing emerge. And just staying on top of the trends, staying on top of how to connect with your audience. And that's
Right.
something that we try to go over a lot with our members. Figuring out who the target audience is, so we can figure out what platform we should spend time on. Whether it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I know a lot of people back then was, I ain't getting on TikTok. My kids on TikTok. I be dancing because they really didn't understand the climate at the time. And then the pandemic, popped off and really, sat all of us down, and
Right.
forced a lot of people to, really focus on the digital aspect of the marketing. And for some people, a lot of people, especially for a lot of the people that I was consulting back then, that actually took my advice, which is probably I could count on one hand. But they was able to see the results, and throughout the years, especially with the pandemic happening, it was a bittersweet moment.
Right.
So, how long have you been, running your company?
So I just got the office in December actually. I was doing mobile massage before that. So this is completely new, a new little baby for me.
I
And
love.
it's been fun. It's been fun. Word of mouth is been my best thing so far, even though I have tried to pay for ads before.
Oh yeah, the ads is that's tricky as well. I've seen a lot of people waste a lot of money,
Hmm.
not going. And it goes back to the target audience, but direct marketing is super important as well. That's why we have our
Right.
affiliate program. That's why we stay doing events and activities and networking, bumping shoulders, because you can never beat that. You get what I'm saying? There's so
Right.
many people on social media; it's oversaturated now. And I think the main thing when it comes to building a brand is building trust. So having that good, having a good balance of the digital marketing aspect, for those who, that may not be in your market, is good for
Right.
that. But also, having that, word of mouth is super important. I don't think it'll never be social media, to be honest, because it's getting more to the point where it's hard for us to trust these brands. Um,
Right.
we got AI going crazy, going rapidly. You got the deep fake videos and photos. You don't know what's going on. So I think, having, that balance of, um, direct marketing, and digital marketing always help for the most part, for sure. So
Yeah.
when it came to planning out your company, what approach did you take when it came to building your business plan?
Well, I wrote down some goals. Most of my goals were surrounded around my lifestyle right now because I'm in school. I wanted to be able to be comfortable, but I didn't want to work, overwork myself while I'm in school. So I first started with a budget and kind of broke down what I need for my bills versus, anything that I want on the side, and kind of broke it down from there, and really broke each service that I do, broke it down for how much that I can make for each thing, and just kind of went from there. And I think that laying it out that way has been really helpful for me because I've wanted to start it before, but I'm thinking I can just hop in and do it and not put the legwork in. So, and it didn't go well. Like I
It
said,
never
I've
do.
been doing it for 8 years. So, and I'm just opening up. So it definitely has been ups and downs with it, but I think actually looking at my budget was the most helpful start in planning.
Definitely, definitely. Business planning is super important. That's the first thing we start off with. When we start working with different brands, making sure that they have an updated business plan. And the reason why I say updated because you gotta have a business plan, but I always suggest that you keep it updated at least every 3 to 6 months, because things change, the world change, people change. It may be the smallest change that it change your whole business model. Take it from somebody that we probably revamped our business plan in the first year probably 6 times, and still updating it. So, what's the most critical element of your business plan that you believe sets you apart from competitors?
Mm. I think that my experience has the biggest impact. I had gotten into a really bad car accident and was in a wheelchair for a while, and I used a lot of lymphatic, a lot of activated stretching, physical therapy to get myself where I am to where I can, run around and do school and do a business and have a family. So I think that my experience honestly sets me apart because I use what's inside of me to help each client. And I think that the passion is important within my industry. I think that the passion is most important because the job is gratifying to have someone, have a pain or have an injury and you're assisting them through that recovery is really a gratifying job for me.
Definitely, definitely. You gotta enjoy the process. You have to enjoy the process. Matter of fact, speaking of that, let me get everybody, just to make sure y'all still tapped in. Let me get everybody to post to put enjoy the process in the comments, man, because you gotta enjoy the process. You gotta have a passion for whatever industry that you're in. I think that's what really keep people in for the long run. I've seen a lot of people hang it up, during the pandemic, after the pandemic, and I've seen a lot of people pick up their passions, after the pandemic as well, and they're thriving and they're much more happier. I think that's really the I think that's the biggest goal is to be happy.
Right,
Happiness. You don't really want to do anything that you're not happy doing. So I think that's super important to enjoy the process, whatever it is that you're doing. Remember the why, and I
right,
think that's important too. To put out the why to let people know why are you doing this. I know everybody want to make money. We all got bills. We all got
right,
different things, different lifestyles that we want to uphold. But really going back to that why will really set you up nice. That's why we really been focusing on um, you know producing a lot of interviews for different business owners and different content creators and influencers that we've been working with. Because it's super important to know the why. Why are you doing this? Why should we care as well? And that's
right.
one. I think most people hop into a business and expect people to just support them just because they have a business. And,
Exactly.
unfortunately, it don't go like that. That's why you get a lot of strangers that support your business first before you might get business on. I mean, family members and friends and different things like that. For the most part, you get what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. I think so. Because that's definitely something that's surprising too when you're starting a business. Not everybody is as easily on board as you thought.
Yeah,
And it's like, oh, okay, okay.
yeah,
But uh, you keep pushing, like you said,
yeah.
enjoying the process and just building, and
Everything
staying
else
determined.
everything else gonna come. Everything else gonna come once you learn to enjoy that process. I think the first step is learning the process. I think a lot of people jump into, like you said, a lot of people jump into different ventures without really properly planning it out and getting all of the info that they need to really hop in this. And then once they hop in it, they start to bump their head. I'm guilty. I've started a lot of I started a few projects in a few companies where we didn't know what we was doing. Exclusive
Right,
Knowledge Magazine is probably the main one. When I first became a publisher, I didn't know nothing about publishing. Shout out to Alonzo Palmer, which was my mentor at the time. Rest in peace. onto Alonzo Palmer, but he was really one of the first ones who really sat me down and you know broke it down to me, broke down, the importance of having a platform like a magazine publication, and kind of walked me through the steps. And the rest, we just kind of burnt a lot of money and bumped our heads. So, I think that's really what um, had to sit me down and, like, hey, I need a specific plan. And ever since then, we've been making sure. I don't care what type of ideas. I probably got a million business plans in my notes right now for different ventures that either we're doing right now or we're going to start doing in the future. So that's super important. That's super important. So, how did you approach budgeting for your business, and what strategies did you use to ensure financial stability?
Well, actually, my mother, she is a clinician. She gets us together weekly and we kind of sit down and we talk about our goals. We kind of have dinner with each other, and we hold each other accountable. So if we need help with something, for example, I had gotten some magnets made for our cars. And I asked everybody, hey, can you commit to driving with this on your car, for a few weeks for me or whatever? And they said yes. I ordered them, and the next week they're like, well, where are they? They keep you accountable, and it's just a weekly thing for us. We figure out, are we getting closer to our goals? What are we doing to get closer to them? And vice versa. If we're not hitting the goals, what we could do for each other to kind of to push forward. And that really has been the most helpful, because number one, it's my mother, so you kind of have to be there. But it shows you that use your resources. Use your family. I relied on them, and that has helped me a lot. That advertisement really has helped me a lot. So that's my biggest takeaway. Just checking in weekly, and making sure that anything that I said I'm not spending on, that I stuck to that this week.
That's
Anything that
that's
I said that I needed to get, keep me accountable. Hey, did you order more business cards? You said you were running low last week's meeting. Things like that.
Most definitely, most definitely. I think that's super important to have that foundation, to have a base like that. A
Hmm.
lot of people don't, I think you're blessed to have that. A lot of people don't have a foundation or a family, especially from our communities, inner city.
Right.
People that grew up in the inner city, we don't have family members that can really teach us about financial literacy or teach us about, the ins and outs of running a business or creating a business plan or marketing, most of the time. So, that's super important to have a community, based around it. And I think that's one of the main reasons, even me not really having that, my parents really didn't, you know, um, I come from the era, I was an entrepreneur back when it wasn't cool to be an entrepreneur. So,
Right.
we come from there like, hey, you better go get a job, go to school, and
Hmm.
that's all our people knew. So a lot of the times we really didn't get a chance to grow up around people that really had that knowledge. Fortunately, I was blessed to, grow up around and have certain friends who had, who was running businesses at a young age because their parents had stores and different things like that. And my mother did put, instill entrepreneurship in me at a young age. I was the water bottle boy back in the day, and I used to
Right.
the candy man in school.
Or
And
making plates at card games.
yeah, no, for real, yeah. So that was where the seed stemmed. But once I hopped into it, I really didn't have a lot of people that I could sit down with until I really got in it and really started building up momentum. Then I started to get blessed with mentors like Alonzo Palmer and Naima, and a few other people that that was there early in my career. But for the most part, it's super important for us to have a community, and that's one of the biggest reasons why we started the mob community. We want to make sure that we all coming together and sharing resources, and it's been a blessing because we're able to connect with people that's not even in our industry and still be able to learn something from them. So that's why
Right.
it's super important. That's why we've really been going, trying our best, and not just trying, but really being consistent with our brainstorming sessions and really being hands on with our members because we need that accountability partner. And that was something that stood out to me that you said. Your mother holds you accountable, and I think that's super important to have a accountability partner and having people
Yeah.
that can hold you accountable. When we can't hold ourselves accountable. So hey,
I
you
think
real.
so. Because we be busy. You know what I mean? Things slip. I set 4 alarms for this today. You know what I'm saying? So things happen. So having somebody else to kind of help out, and we write it down too. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not just something that we are only talking about. Like, things are written, the goals are made. So um you don't have a choice. We're going through each thing to find out if you did it or not. So
Yes, yeah, that's the
is
same thing. That's the same thing we do with our family, with our members. We have a
right,
make sure we have a checklist. We put together a detailed outline so we can make sure that we're on the same page and making sure that we keeping track of our progress as well. Because I think that's another thing that we do as entrepreneurs. We don't or one thing that I think we don't do is like we should is count our keep track of our progress, and it's something that I constantly stay on our members about and our affiliates, keeping track of our because like you said we be busy,
right,
even when we have a win we still thinking about the next win that we're going to get and how we're going to
exactly,
get the next client or the next customer, how we're going to sell the next product. We never really give our chance to say, hey, I accomplished something this month, and this is exactly what we accomplished this month. And do a little, even celebrate it a little bit. It ain't gotta be,
right,
you ain't gotta go all out, but I think it's super important, for us to celebrate our wins and celebrate each other as well. Like you said, hold each other accountable. Like, hey, some of our members, and you guys know who y'all is. So I be on y'all. I don't want to say no names, but some of our members, we got to be like, hey, we got to get this done. We should have been, had this box checked off. Let's get this, let's pull it together. Let's get this box checked off this month. And, we need that. I think we all need that. So that's super important. So I got one more question for you. And then I want to see if we can get Sienna on next. But what is one unconventional marketing strategy that has worked the best for your brand? How did you come up with it?
one unconventional marketing strategy. um Sometimes, like, I will apply for a place, like to work at a spa, but then let them know that I'm leaving and that they can find me at my place. So taking clients a little bit, I apologize, um employers.
I mean, at least you put it.
But
At least you let them know ahead of time. I mean, I
I
think
let them know. Yeah, I let them know. Like, just a little seasonal, but I kind of plug myself in wherever I go, and I'm really big on education. So I think that I sometimes will over explain something to someone, and then have them thinking later, like, you know what? I think I need to get back up with her. You know what I'm saying? So I always trying to stay outside the box, but I think that's the most unconventional. And then the magnets on the car, because I have never driven with anything on my car and having people stare at me while I'm driving. That is insane, but it is what it is. We got to get the brand out there. I got my some of my vitamins right here, guys. I just wanted to kind of plug that in.
definitely,
Black
definitely.
brand, black
So,
owned brand.
so do you ever get nervous when you see somebody, eyeballing you? And you like, what is they looking at? What's going on? Do you kind
Uh,
of got to remember, like, oh, I do got this magnet on my car.
Sometimes, but you know what? If I see you looking real hard, I'm gonna slow it down. I might spin the block for you, because you're gonna get this. I got the QR code on the side, goes straight to the booking app. So I'll spin back for you if you're staring.
I love that. I love that. I love that.
So my name is Shanavia Dickerson, and I am a licensed massage therapist at All Intentions Massage. I am at 101 Devant Street in Fayetteville, Georgia, 30214. And I am All Intentions on all platforms, including LinkedIn. If I had one piece of advice for anyone looking to start a business, any entrepreneur, is to look for mentorship. Don't feel like you're above getting mentored, and never feel like you're above learning from somebody else, because that is how every single business that you know of that is successful has done it. They follow the same models as others. So don't be scared to jump in and ask someone to be a mentor for you. And shout out to Massage by Andrea, because she has truly been a mentor for me as well. So just wanted to shout her out.